Got the kid on the job. And that big old Ford F450. How about that, huh? Yeah. So you can probably keep this, just so you know. Take that out, because you can reuse that. Yeah, the kid just loves the Ford F450. Yeah, look at this tremors. This thing badass. I mean, come on. This thing's badass. Would I give it up for a Raptor 37? I don't think I will. But I gotta go to work for a while. Figure I'll bring it by. What type of number they put on it, but yeah, don't disagree with anybody here. There's the dog. There's Kiefer. Kiefer! Mr. Troublemaker. You're a troublemaker. Come on, get in the truck. You want him in the truck?
I just don't know why you didn't take it out.
Come here, puppy. Come here, Keith. Do you want him in the truck? Oh, no, Ginger. No. Your truck is trash. Say what, baby?
You told me to throw this away.
No, you have to look at the condition of it before you do that. All right, let me get in the office. Oh, the projects. Working Saturday. How about that? Isn't that just a blast, right? Yeah, it's always fun working on Saturdays, but we're going to have some fun between working and driving, right? Okay, geez, it takes time to get ready to go to work every day of my life. And wow, you know, this truck here is just so nice. And anybody's watched my channel. If I trade this for a 37 Raptor, am I stupid? Probably, but I didn't say I was the smartest of the bunch here. And wow, I got a whole stack of letters to mail out to my favorite subscribers to the channel, and they're wanting these cool Ice Age TV stickers with a lunch on me or gas on me, whatever it is. So but there's still now 4 slots left, because Tactical Mex just said good morning to me, and then he emailed me that he wants another sticker. I don't even know if he got a sticker before. I think he did. I can't keep track. Sorry, man. A lot of information going on here. So the whole point is he just got a sticker and a $20 bill. So we got 4 left. And watch my channel. I mean, I'll just keep it going until I get to 20. My goal was to reward others, and a gesture of good faith to those that watch me, and I really appreciate it. So anyways, it's all about the Cybertruck Adventure Day, and I'm just blown away. I gotta kind of make it stop here. Gotta get all the letters in the mailbox, so everybody gets their stuff. Doesn't think I'm BSing them, right? You know, I tried to get a theme for each individual with these really cool U.S. stamps. So we'll see if those are like, yeah, man, that kind of goes with my territory. Just so you know, those are the Canadian stamps. Pricey to get up there to Canada for an envelope. Wow. All right, we're on the road. It's much warmer up here now. It's 44 degrees. It's actually a lot of moisture in the air, as you can tell. So not too cold at all, really, but still cool. So yeah, the Cybertruck Adventures. I just can't emphasize enough after last night watching all these videos. I woke up at like 2 a.m. and I watched videos till close to 5 a.m. of the Cybertruck. And it was just, what's really interesting though is these are all pre-made videos from a while back. So if you watch this guy at Haggerty, Jason, if you really pay attention, I guarantee this video was made 2, 3, 4 months ago, I would think. Because they're all talking about, they're assuming that the real production truck is maybe going to be the same, but maybe a little different. But there's just no way, there's no way these guys got the reveal of the Tesla truck. And then they were able to do all this, you know, they get the reveal of the Tesla truck on Thursday. And then all of a sudden, all this content is put together for this guy, Jason, and all the media guys, producers that could make that incredible video. There's no way. That's so many hours of work and the racing. So point is, all these videos are populating from kind of the well-known motorhead car guy enthusiasts that get the option to drive the latest, greatest cars and everything. it had to be 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 months ago when they drove that Tesla Cybertruck. And then there are select videos out there. A guy named Marcus or something has like 1.2 million viewers. Young man he's probably not a young man, but real cool guy. He does a whole overview of this Cybertruck. But you hear all the language. And that's what I've talked about on my YouTube channel. It's incredible how all this language of, hey, I got the 302 motor. I got the small black Chevy. I got the 327. I got the 426. I got the 427. I got the elephant motor. I got the demon motor. You can go through. That's got the 393 or 383 stroker. I mean, you can go through the list. It's all that language is turning into. I've got the 800 volt architecture. I have the 48 volt system in my truck. I've got the induction wheel motors. I've got the other motors. I mean, it's all this. I've talked about it. And it's so much new information, and trying to digest all this new technology of how these new electric vehicles are being built, the North America charging standard port for the cars. I mean, it's how many kilowatt? It's 121 kilowatt battery in the Tesla truck. You can add like an extra X amount of kilowatts to it, like a suitcase for the Tesla truck to extend your range. I mean, yeah, they've got, the Tesla truck has these induction style motors, rear motors, but the front motor is a not magnesium, but it's a metal, whatever. I can't think of the word, but the whole point is the Tesla truck has like 2 rear motors and then a front motor that has like 390 horsepower, and then the rear motors make up for that. And apparently it's like an 840 horsepower truck with it all out, your highest capacity truck. And it shows the truck running against the Rivian, and it walks that. It shows it just totally obliterating the GMC Hummer. But here's the thing: the Jason guy, this guy was like in love with this Cybertruck. This guy apparently spent like 3 days with that truck with Haggerty, and I mean, it was a great. If you have to look it up. Look up the Jason, whatever the guy's last name is, Haggerty Cybertruck review, and watch it. It's a lot of good information. I mean, it's incredible information of what the Cybertruck has accomplished in pushing the envelope forward for the automotive industry to get away from this 12 volt architecture, the 200 volt, battery. I mean, everything's going to the forced hand in so many ways by Tesla for the other manufacturers to play catch up, and they're trying to convey that like the existing industry is just years and years behind of what this truck is. But at the same time, in so many ways, it's a vehicle from point A to point B. I mean, it kind of just gets befuddling at some point that you're talking about their average person that just goes how many miles, that really needs all this incredible, overrated, overpowered truck that's in so many ways a car because the way it handles four-wheel steering. The steering wheel is that funky square steering wheel, and it does 170 degrees of turn. Is a complete turn, but since it has rear wheel steering, what's interesting is I used to have like a 2005 Chevy Suburban 2500 that had all-wheel steering. Was that thing cool? It was cool. Could I do a U-turn in that thing like nothing? I could. So anyways, watching all that video and watching the exhilaration of these guys just, pedal to the metal, and seeing their look on their face and the fun factor, I just thought, wow, is the Ice Age getting ready to be just that, the Ice Age? But then when you watch all this stuff, you just kind of step back and think, yeah, but the reality of the $100,000 Cybertruck. Yeah, I mean, that Cybertruck these guys are driving around in, these are $100,000 vehicles. And as everybody knows, the initial $39,999 Cybertruck unveiled in 2019, there's no way that truck is going to be really a $65,000 truck. But the challenge is going to be, when are you going to be able to get one? I mean, I'm sure it's going to be the same thing. But here's what is interesting is you just think to yourself, this is such new technology, such new architecture. The steel, the stainless steel they use on this vehicle to make this thing what it is, the technology they have just to make this bulletproof, dent-proof vehicle. If you ever have anything wrong with this vehicle, what's going to be the turnaround time for an issue with a vehicle? I mean, sincerely, if you get this Cybertruck and something, you get in a car accident or whatever it may be, the front windshield, you just think, what is going to be the availability of all these new parts, and even who's going to have the capability to even work on these things? Because they do a whole, on the Top Gear guy, the British guy, he goes to the Tesla Cybertruck factory, and he does a great extensive interview with the key, designers of this truck, and they go through great lengths of explaining, how challenging it was to get this truck to the marketplace and built, and Elon Musk putting the pressure on them to design this thing as fast as possible and build it as fast as possible. But just hearing what new type of technology you're using, it's not abundant technology out there. And they talk about these lithium-ion batteries, where it's incredible how, just picture like a AA battery is a former lithium-ion battery pack, and now you're talking about a battery bigger than a D-cell size battery. That is probably like 1,000 or 1,100 of those in the battery pack of the Cybertruck, and it's a substantially bigger battery. So, in all this new technology is making it the charging, the 350 kilowatt supercharger capability, so that the truck can now, in maybe 15 to 20 minutes, get 150 to 180 miles of range. Which in like 15 to 20 minutes, you get 150 and 180 miles of range. You got the Saturday morning guy working just like me, and it's not easy, that big ass truck. So, it's a lot of excitement. Jason's making comments that if he worked at a conventional Ford factory, GM factory, he'd be hanging himself because of how outdated the product lines are of Ford and General Motors, and borderline embarrassing. He'd be borderline embarrassed to go to work because of how archaic that infrastructure is. But you think to yourself, yeah, but you're talking big money. I mean, how many people have $100,000 to buy a truck? And for what? What are you going to be able to do with that truck for $100,000? So you start to feel like, yes, incredible, cool truck, but there starts to become a separation of like, hey, Jason, not the average person, but he knows that. He talks about how the Lamborghini guy will have this thing parked next to his Lamborghini. But at the same time, for where the manufacturers are, the constraints they have on them in so many ways, of going from the ICE age to the EV age, where is the money, right? And we already know it's a huge challenge for the automotive industry in this transition, because not every brother is going out and buying these electric vehicles. Now, does the Cybertruck fuel that somewhat? In some ways, I guess it could. I mean, there's no doubt that's definitely electrified Tesla. No doubt that Cybertruck is going to have somebody probably more on the page now of looking at a Tesla vehicle. It'll reinforce that Tesla really is the better brand of the EV people out there over the others. But that's the goal. That's always what's been about, what it's been about racing, and it's all about how you bring a better product into the market and you make the competition look weaker. Well, that's what drives sales to your product. It's a no-brainer. I mean, that's just, this Cybertruck just hauls ass. But I'm up here today, and I know there's another big-ass truck up here in front of me. I don't know what's going on. They're all pumping out the sewer systems. But anyways, so for me, well, here's the thing. Yesterday, if you're watching my channel, I went by the Nissan dealers on the ongoing path of trying to figure out how I get a Nissan 370Z. and a 370, a Nissan 400Z, which is now the Z. Yeah, I'm driving, haven't had a lot of coffee, going to work. I'm usually in my office doing these type of videos instead of driving. Driving and doing this isn't the easiest. So, which is to no avail. Which is, for the most part, it probably won't play. It's not going to play out. I just already know that. It's not a big deal because the Z will be around next year. It'll be another day, another project, whatever. It's interesting that one dealership that I was down in Fairfax, Virginia, Nissan's Fairfax, they called this morning, and the guy's so, it's such the incompetence of information. The guy's calling me saying, "Hey, we've got a Nissan Z here in the showroom." Really? Yeah, I know that. I was there yesterday, man. I told the general manager or the general sales manager like 10 times I'm only interested in a manual transmission, and I'm not paying ADM. But here's a guy calling this morning. Somebody probably gave him my name and number and said, "Call this guy. He wants a Z." And it's like, yeah, right, whatever. So, anyways, but that little trip. I mean, what's very incredible is yesterday's goal was to go see one of my friends, John and Brad, who I used to deal with at Coons Ford, who I haven't seen now since probably like this past summer. And I really wanted to go by and see them at their new gig at Ted Britt Ford of Fairfax. And when I got there, I asked if they had a 37 Raptor, just for like, you guys have a 37 Raptor. And they're like, "Well, we just had like a 22 used one that we just sold." And I go, "Okay." And so that was in that story. Went out then to Chantilly Ford just to go see a friend of mine, Herman, and I just wanted to have a little fun with him. On my friend Chris says that the Ford cars have a unique smell to them, and they're stinky. So I went out there, if you're watching the channel, and come to find out, as I walk in and start talking to Herman, and I'm asking if he has a Raptor 37, and he's basically like, "No, we don't have one." Or another guy, older gentleman, sitting 2 desks in front of him, he was like, "Yeah, we got a 37. It just came in. It's a black one, but it's sitting up in Fairfax." And I'm like, "What? You're kidding me? I was just at Fairfax. How could this be?" And so now it turns into me then getting fixated on that and texting my friend John at the dealership. And then he texts me back, and then I call him, and he's like, "I'll let you have the Raptor at MSRP," which in today's market, I think a lot of people be like, "Well, that's probably realistic and probably get a discount." Raptors have never been known to be discounted off MSRP, just for the record. The Ford Raptor truck is not a dime a dozen vehicle per se. And so, it's interesting. These tires busted loose, so the truck overtook and depowered it, so I wouldn't keep on spinning. These are lousy tires for a wet day like today, for the record. But anyways, as I go up over in the foggy day, which I got my special glasses on, and these glasses really do help see better through the fog. See all the glasses on? These are great driving glasses at nighttime, but also they're great glasses to wear in the rain and fog, because you can see, it's more clarity for you to be able to see. Anyways, so to get a 37 Raptor, even at Coons Baltimore Ford, I can already tell you right now, they would not sell me a 37 Raptor, I think, at MSRP. Doubtful. I would doubt it. They probably want $5,000 over. I mean, but if you really watch my channel and look at for years back, I test drove a Raptor 37 like I was talking about earlier, and I didn't take the deal because it was too complicated a deal. It just wasn't meant to be. So I walked away, and I've had mixed feelings about the Raptor 37 because I've had so many Raptors. And so here we are. And it's just, why did this play out yesterday? In all sincereness, why did yesterday, just having fun to go see Herman, to go take a ride, if he had a 37 sitting there, and then make a whole video of us getting in the truck, and then just have a little gig of the truck stinks for my friend Chris to get the, the ha, whatever. That has turned into me going to Fairfax, Ted Britt Ford, to now look at a Ford Raptor 37. And the price on it is, of course, expensive, but nothing compared to what it was a year, 2 years ago, 6 months ago. I mean, yes, and the Raptor R, would I love to have a Raptor R? Yeah, but they're still getting 25 grand plus over on Raptor R. And those trucks are 111 grand without even any ADM. They're 120 grand, depending on how you option them out. So to me, it's like, no way. But then somebody say, why don't you just get the Cybertruck? You know, for the record, knowing who I am, I probably would. But I don't think it's going to be available for me to buy one. I think there's too many other dedicated Tesla people that have their name, and they're going to get priority over me all day long. The only way I'm going to get one is to pay some guy probably 100 grand to get one. Yeah, I guarantee you'll hear the stories out there that a guy just paid a guy 200 grand for the Cybertruck. I guarantee it. There's no doubt in my mind it'll happen because the truck's getting so much attention. The back roads here are so busy for a Saturday morning. To me, it's even kind of like, wow, as my hand goes numb. Yeah, right. Take a time out. Oh, it's foggy. It's the foggy Saturday morning. Reminds me of living in California when you'd have that killer fog where, I mean, you couldn't see in front of you for anything in the world. I mean, wow. Anybody out there lives in California, especially that northern area near San Francisco, I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. But these glasses, they help a lot. So the Tesla, what's interesting also is how there's no Tesla emblem at all on that Cybertruck. It's only Cybertruck signature plaques, and the steering wheel says Cybertruck, but there's no Tesla emblem whatsoever. What's that all about? As there's a Tesla here in front of me. Out here in the country. We go from being out in the country to being in the city. That's where it's all going to play out for me today. So yeah, so what's that all about with the why they wouldn't put a Tesla on the truck? Huh. Yeah, the truck has 11,000 pounds towing capability, 0 to 60 in like 2.6 seconds, 845 horsepower, has 2,500 pound, carrying capacity in the bed of the truck, which the bed of that truck with that angle and that retractable and closing cover for it is they recommend they keep the cover always closed to the bed, so it's got a more coefficient drag for better range. And then there's no per se rear view mirror like you see here. It's a little dinky little thing up there that when the retractable tonneau cover is open, you can see it a little bit behind you, but for the most part it's all on a big screen, 18-inch screen that gives you a rear view camera at all times of what's going on around you, so you don't have the regular view. We're all so accustomed to this. We're all accustomed to everything being right in front of our eyes. That Cybertruck, you're always going to be glancing to the right. You're always going to have like a peripheral view vision of driving that truck and seeing what's kind of going on with the truck around. Everything's kind of going on isn't in front of you interior wise like this here is. All your gauges, it's all focal point is straight on. The Cybertruck, you're always more focused looking to the right, which I don't know what that's all about. Another thing is, this truck here, you can slide over this little tray thing here, and this turns into a 4 cup holder. And then you got, 2 more cup holders there. You got a cup holder over here. You got a cup holder over there. So this truck here has 4, 6, 8 water bottle capabilities versus the Tesla truck. I only see two areas to put the water bottles in. And I swear that the truck doesn't have really much storage on the side doors. I don't think it does. The mirrors are kind of funky, but they do apparently slide in and out for the towing capability. The windshield is extremely big, And I don't know if the guy's name is Marcus or not. He'd probably be embarrassed if I didn't know his name, because he's a huge, very successful YouTuber. But he claims that the way that whole dash is, that whole windshield, it's so long, but then he really can't get a general feeling of where the front of the end of the truck is. He says when you drive that truck, you just don't know your bearings in it, because you can't see like the end of the front hood of the truck. And he looks to be like a tall guy. So he said that's a little, a little bit, it takes time getting used to that. You don't really know the front of where the truck is. Like for me right now, I know my bearings in this truck because of the way it's set up, and the hoods and the windshield. Can you imagine how much that windshield would cost? Even though it's apparently chip resistant, rock resistant, apparently it's some special material that the odds of that windshield getting damaged would be very challenging. But at the same time, if it did, can you even imagine how much that windshield would cost? The doors are part of the actual makeup of the structure of that vehicle. More or less like this truck here is the frame of the truck that really makes up the whole dynamics of how this truck's put together, and how it has a really tight, to me, the truck feels good, feels tight, has the towing capability. And it's a Saturday morning person that probably doesn't drive their vehicle, but on Saturday to go to the grocery store, and now we're putting down the road in a 50-mile-an-hour road at about 30 miles an hour. And we know these stories. Yeah, I've known them too well. I live on the roads every day of my life. But the doors are so heavy as far as the way they use that stainless steel that if you see a crash, a 35-mile-an-hour crash on that truck side door from like a 3,300-pound vehicle in the testing laboratory, it's incredible how the truck barely gets damaged. It gets damaged, but nothing in comparison to what a modern truck or car would do. And then how you can take a hammer and hit the side of the door and it doesn't ding the door. I mean, it's just incredible. So those doors, the front and rear doors, are the whole architecture of that truck's real, making it such a solid feeling vehicle, and the integrity in the engineering of what makes that truck what it is. So, and once again, I just saw the video last night, and I'm digesting a lot of information. And even individuals have driven the truck. The British guy from Top Gear, he even said that I could spend even hours and hours and days still just really connecting with this vehicle, because there's just so much information of what this vehicle has. And then the way the screen is up here, and in screen, how you can actually move the truck around. And I mean, it's just, wow, right? Wow. Once again, who's going to be the buyer of this type of truck? Yeah, will you be like you, Iceman, a guy like you? Well, yeah, in so many ways. I don't disagree. If I had the chance to buy a Cybertruck, would I buy one? I would. I mean, can you imagine the people are getting these trucks right now? Are getting attention. They're going to get an incredible amount of attention through that vehicle. So yeah, but once again, when somebody out there that has a Cybertruck let me drive it around and then do a video of my own, ideas and views of it, I don't know. I mean, who has one? I mean, sincerely, who has one? What level of stature? What level of stature do you have to be at to even be so lucky to get one? I mean, sincerely. So, but with the new Cybertruck, it's definitely going to force Ford and Ram and Chevy and all these guys to up the ante in some ways, but at the same time, main conversations from the Cybertruck perspective, from these engineers and from this guy Jason, is that the truck is such an archaic looking vehicle. I just think, but that's what people like. I don't understand. I mean, it's kind of like the men and women in our life. As a man, I like what a woman looks like, they don't need to redesign themselves for me to like them differently, even though, sadly, that's going on in our society. So I think the true truck guy likes the look of just the truck. This drawing that somebody drew with a straight rule, it looks like it's from Mars. I don't think the truck really looks, incredibly like, wow. It's more about, it's so different, it's intriguing that you probably just want one just for that reason. But overall, how it looks, does it really look nicer than my Ford F-250 Tremor truck? Does it really look nicer than my race truck? Does it really look nicer than the Raptor 37 truck? I mean, and that's where it's like the separation of so many people. I think, like, what do I gain? What do you gain from having a Cybertruck? And that's what it all comes down to at the end of the day is, what do you gain by owning a Cybertruck? Besides being able to say to people, look at me, I've got the latest, greatest thing that's come to the market that's the most unique in modern times, and look at me. Overall, I think that's all it's going to play out to be, because you just can't tell me that Cybertruck is going to accomplish much more than the truck I'm in. Okay, it's faster than this truck, but I mean, really? I mean, that's all it's about, is how fast you go from point A to point B all day long. That gets old. It gets worn out. Can you work out of that truck like this truck? I can't see it. It doesn't have all the extra features of what I feel like is more creature comforts for the usability of being able to take family or friends and having all the extra cup holders. And I think it's a roomier truck. Towing, we already know there's no way that Cybertruck is going to tow what this can tow and how far it can go without having to be re-energized. So you know that right there. You already know that if you ever have any issues with that truck, you're probably going to lose it for a while. And here's the other thing. What's the insurance rate going to be on that truck? I mean, I don't know if you're hearing the stories about insurance on the Rivian trucks, but I think people are starting to get eye-openers. These Rivian trucks, apparently, if these trucks have just a minor rear-end crash of, like, say, 18 miles an hour, somebody hits them in the back end, it's like a whole new rear modular bed, rear end. It's like a $60,000 bill. I could be wrong on that, but I'm pretty sure I'm correct on that the Rivian's starting to get labeled through the insurance industry that this is a huge liability for them to let a guy pay, $1,200 a year, $2,000 a year, and he has one minor incident with it, and they're going to spend $60,000, $70,000 to fix it. So it's changing the way the insurance industry is having to look at things. That's all in our conversation. In fact, I'm planning on next week having these type of conversations, if you're watching my channel, on talking about all this new technology and what it's changing, the dynamics of the marketplace. And once again, everything's getting more expensive. And I just think it's incredible how people are oblivious to, as this electrical infrastructure gets built out, it's going to be more expensive. So you're not going to be saving all this money by buying an electric truck and not going to the gas station. You're a fool to think so, because the government is going to have no choice to start charging you for road use on these vehicles, and the kilowatt charges are going to start being more because the electrical infrastructure is going to have to be built out in the masses to handle this electric charging. And there's no way these electrical companies can build out these power plants and infrastructure for dirt cheap and not have to charge you more. So I think at the end of the day, it's going to be borderline head-to-head on the economics of your re-energizing your vehicle. And I think at the end of the day, it's going to be actually more expensive to own an electric vehicle because of some of the things I just kind of mentioned. But anyways, hand's going to go numb again. I got to go take care of some work right here, get back in the truck. We'll be talking here shortly. Hey, let's get something healthy, right? Get some taco burritos. What do you call them? Burritos. Hey, so you're telling me the Cybertruck looks badass in this? I mean, come on. Come on, Jason. Are you telling me this truck here? I think this truck here looks so much badass than that Cybertruck. I mean, come on. Oh, gotta get some, and go for some more car adventures. It's always the car adventures. Never thinking so many years ago, even for me, the dynamics of the change of the automotive industry that is upon us, like never seen, that's got so much resistance and so many aspects of this electric technology, but yet so many will just hammer on how this electric stuff's the greatest, latest thing since sliced bread, and you gotta have one.